Oh, wait. Oh, it's 2024. I have 50 books on my TBR list. We're gonna sit down today. We're gonna talk about some fiction books and if there are any that you need to add to your TBR list this year too. Okay, so I'm a little under the weather as I film this. If you hear me sniffling, that's what that is, okay? We're gonna be looking at each of the books. We're gonna be reading the little synopsis, and then I think I'm gonna rate them on a scale of 1 to 5 in terms of how much I think I'll enjoy it, which basically all of these are giving like 5 or 4 energy. Otherwise I wouldn't have picked them up, you know? All right, let's start off with the first one. Oh, also too, you guys, if there are any that you're super interested in, let me know in the comments. Let me know which ones you're also gonna be adding to your TBR list, and then I'll also put my Goodreads link in the show notes. It's not a podcast. I'll put my Goodreads link in the YouTube description so that you guys can follow over on Goodreads as well, and we can like stay in touch and see what we're all reading together, okay? First one is this book right here. This one, I saw someone on TikTok had this in their list of books that they read in 2023, and immediately I was intrigued just by like how she described this book. So it's called I Who Have Never Known Men. It's by Jacqueline Hartman. The cover to me is like mysterious. It's giving like, is it dystopian? Is it giving Handmaid's Tale? Like, I don't know what about the cover is like intriguing to me. Maybe it's like the dark colors, but either way, this looks so good. So it says, for a very long time, the days went by, each just like the day before. Then I began to think and everything changed. Ooh, that already sounds like that line right there. Girl, what you thinking about? What's changing? What is happening? I'm intrigued. Deep underground, 39 women live imprisoned in a cage. Watched over by guards, these women have no memory of how they got there, no notion of time, and only vague recollections of their lives before. As the burn of electric light merges day into night, and numberless years pass, a young girl, the 40th prisoner, sits alone and outcast in the corner. But soon she will show herself to be the key to the others' escape and survival in the strange world that waits them above. This just seems really interesting from the description of this book, also from the cover, also from the title. To me, it's giving Handmaid's Tale vibes. I literally could not finish that show because I was so distraught and upset by like decisions that the main character was making. If you know, you know. Okay, June. But I truly enjoyed that one, and I feel like, you know, lately in life it's giving very much we're heading towards that. So, you know, maybe I gotta be prepared. We gotta read this, prep ourselves for what's coming. Okay, not fear-mongering, just saying. Okay, next on my list is The Paris Apartments by Lucy Foley. I feel like a bunch of people have read this before. I love this cover. I literally bought this one at the airport. There are a couple more that I bought at the airport. Okay, listen. Let me back it up. Let me tell y'all, let me give y'all tea, okay? When 2024 started, I set my TBR goal for 50. Meanwhile, only read about 15 books last year. I think I read like 25 or 30 the year before. So I've never read that many books in a year, but I said, I am coming in hot in 2024, okay? We about to burn this place up. And I'm really excited because I feel like I'm just like tapping back into my paper book era. And as much as I love my Kindle, there's something about a book with like a beautiful cover with just like the smell of paper that really gets me going personally. So I'm very excited about this one. I've read Lucy Foley before. I'm trying to think what book I've read from her, but I've read something from her before. I want to say it had like a black and white cover with like red on it. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Anyways, here's the description from the back. Meet the residents of number 12, Rue des Amants. Okay, baby, I took French and that was giving very abysmal. I don't know what that was, but just pretend, put a little French accent on it again, okay? A beautiful old apartment building in the city of light. The socialite, the nice guy, the alcoholic, the girl on the verge, the concierge. Everyone's a neighbor, everyone's a suspect, and everyone knows something they're not telling. See you in Paris. Oh, baby. See, that's a synopsis right there. She didn't say nothing, but she said everything she had needed to say. You feel me? Yeah. Yeah. Lucy Foley, I'm seeing you in Paris, girl. There's something about like the dark cover with the bright font that's kind of like a handwritten situation that clearly draws me in. I also bought this one at the airport. It was literally sitting right next to the Paris Apartments one. So Yeah, this one is called The House Across the Lake. It's by Riley Sager, another New York Times bestseller. And let's get into the synopsis of this one. Oh, also, LOL, I have not even been rating the books. Didn't I say I was gonna do that? Girl, listen. All right, let's back it up. I Who Have Never Known Men, 5. No, 4. Paris Apartments, 5. Basically, everything in this video is literally gonna be a 4 or 5, so yeah. Be careful what you watch for. What's that supposed to mean? Casey Fletcher, a recently widowed actress trying to escape a streak of bad press, has retreated to the peace and quiet of her family's lake house in Vermont. Armed with a pair of binoculars and several bottles of bourbon, she passes the time watching Tom and Catherine Royce, the glamorous couple living in the house across the lake. And see, this is how I know this ain't gonna go right, because baby, why you not minding your own business? They make for a good viewing. A tech innovator, Tom is powerful, and a former model, Catherine is gorgeous. One day on the lake, Casey saves Catherine from drowning, and the two strike up a budding friendship. But the more they get to know each other, and the longer Casey watches, it becomes clear that Catherine and Tom's marriage isn't as perfect as it appears. When Catherine suddenly vanishes, Casey immediately suspects Tom of foul play. What she doesn't realize is that there's more to the story than meets the eye, and that shocking secrets can lurk beneath the most placid of surfaces. See, already, why are you not minding your own business? See, the thing is, like, people watching, neighbor watching, it sounds fun in theory, but it also gives very much, if something happens, it's like, what's that MBTA quote from, you know, on the Boston Tea? If you see something, say something. Now you gotta say something because you done seen something, but who you gonna say something to when you don't even know what you seen? Yeah, too much for me personally. I'm giving that one a 3.5. Like, I'm obviously intrigued, I obviously bought it, but like out of all of them so far, that one's like lower down on the list because the plot seems just, not that it's predictable, but I'm annoyed that this woman is just not minding her business. So like, it really is that for me. Okay, this next one I've had for a minute on my shelf. I actually bought this like a year ago, I want to say. This is One True Loves, okay? This is by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm excited for this one. It is a romance, and I'm not a big like romance reader, but you know what though? That can change, and that is changing, because at one point, I want to say like 2020 and 2021, when I got back into like reading and fiction books, I was all into thrillers. Like, all I read was psychological thriller, and now I've expanded. I've tapped into some fantasy, I've tapped into some contemporary fiction, some romance. So yeah, so this is gonna be a little bit of my romance era that we're tapping into here. In her 20s, Emma Blair marries her high school sweetheart, Jesse. They build a life for themselves, far away from the expectation of their parents and the people of their hometown in Massachusetts. Oh girl, I'm already resonating. I'm already resonating. Well, just with the Massachusetts piece, not really with the high school sweetheart, but you know, a little bit of resonation there, okay? They travel the world together. Emma as a freelance writer, Jesse as a production assistant on nature documentaries, living life to the fullest and seizing every opportunity for adventure. On their first wedding anniversary, Jesse is on assignment in the, how do you say that, Aleutian Islands? Girl, I ain't never heard of that before. When his helicopter goes missing over the Pacific. Just like that, Jesse's gone forever. Oh, that got deep. Emma quits her job and moves home in an effort to put her life back together. Years later, now in her 30s, Emma runs into an old friend, Sam, and finds herself falling in love again. Aww. When Emma and Sam get engaged, it feels like Emma's second chance at happiness. That is, until Jesse is found. Girl, wait, the drama. Then see, he's alive and he's been trying to come home to her all these years. Emma now has a husband and a fiance, but who is her one true love, and what does it even mean to love truly? Emma knows that she has to listen to her heart. She's just not sure what to say. Girl, that, I feel like that book is gonna destroy me, because what? Oh my god, but like, okay, obviously we have to read the book. I'm gonna give that one a 4 out of 5 in terms of my interest for reading it. I will say, like, in a predicament such as that, I don't know. What do you, like, obviously it's gonna depend, because you can't say what you would do, because I feel like we all try to say like, oh, I would do this, I would do that, and then you're put in that situation and it's like everything that you said you would do goes out the window because it's like so many different factors. Because I'm like, girl, it's giving choose the polyamorous life, baby. You got 2 husbands now. Okay, I also picked up this one at the airport when I was, where was I? I think I was in like the Virginia airport the other day, and I found this one. It's called Meet the Bendettos? Girl, by Katie Catugno. My pronunciation this morning is giving very much abysmal. Excusez-moi. Every family is complicated. The Bendettos are no exception. A few years after a reality TV show skyrocketed them to pop culture fame, the 5 20-something sisters are living together in their parents' crumbling McMansion, nearly broke and teetering toward rock bottom. Lily Bendetto is too all aware that her family is viewed as a spectacle, but she's focused on holding herself and her family together. Social relevancy BZMs. But when Charlie Bingley, the dashing star of Major Fantastic, moves into their Los Angeles neighborhood with his friend Will Darcy. Will Darcy is such a name, isn't it? In tow, it looks as if the Bendettos' fortunes are about to turn around at last. It's giving 2.73 in terms of my interest. I think that it seems interesting. Like, it seems like it's probably going to be like a little bit of a comedy situation. It's compared to, or this family's compared to the Kardashians. Like, on the back of this book, they said that it's where the Kardashians meets Pride and Prejudice. So I feel like it'll be a little funny. I'm hoping that it surprises me. Like, I'm hoping that the plot just takes me for a ride and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so happy I picked this one up. Okay, next up we have Under the Influence by Noelle Crooks. I love books that are kind of like Gossip Girl-esque, that talk about, you know, the upper echelon of society, like the uber rich, the drama, the tea, which is why I think the Bendettos one could be interesting. But this one to me was giving that vibe. Like, even just the image on the front, like, it just gives, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just giving me some type of Gossip Girl-esque vibe to it. After a series of go-nowhere jobs in the New York publishing world, Harper Cruz is broke, lonely, and desperate for a salary that won't leave her scrambling to make rent each month. So when she stumbles across a job posting from an influencer offering triple her last paycheck, she automatically submits her resume. Harper may not be familiar with self-help guru Charlotte Green, but Charlotte's relentless optimism and charismatic can-do spirit have created a cult-like following of women across the country. When she selects Harper out of thousands of other applicants in less than 24 hours, it's obvious she sees something she likes. Despite the pressure to accept the offer just as quickly as she's been given it, Harper decides to take a leap and become the newest member of the Greenhouse. Taking the job means moving to Nashville, and Harper is quickly dazzled by the glamorous world Charlotte has built in the Music City. The Greenhouse is more than a workspace, it's a family, and Harper soon finds herself swept into its inner circle. At first, she loves working in such an inspirational environment where the mandatory dance parties, daily intentions, and group bonding activities make up for long hours and Charlotte's persistent demands for loyalty. But the deeper Harper is pulled into Charlotte's world, the more she realizes that having it all and being it all comes with a price. Okay, so this is like a little, I don't know what I thought this was. This is definitely not what I thought this was. I imagine, like I said, kind of like a socialite situation. Girl, what did I read when I bought this? I do not know. It does seem interesting though. Like, I'm really curious. It's giving sort of the vibes of cult leader and like peer pressure and what happens. I don't necessarily know if it's a thriller. Like, I don't know what the price you gonna pay. Like, is somebody gonna get murdered? I don't really know. But I'm interested to read this one. I would say this is giving me like a 3.5 out of 5. Like, it's not really, it hasn't really given me that it's gonna be a thriller. It just says it's fast paced. So we'll see how this one is. Oh, but it's kind of thick for a book that's supposed to be fast paced. Like, maybe how fast are you pacing it? Okay, I'm also excited for this next one. It's another romance. Like I said, girl, I'm in my, you know, dabbling in my romance era this year or whatever. So this is called A 7-Year Slip, and it's by Ashley Poston. Sometimes the worst day of your life happens, and you have to figure out how to live after it. For Clementine West, that means burying her head in her work as a book publicist, being practical, and forgetting the silly little things her beloved aunt Angela taught her, like living wide and chasing the moon. Clementine would rather stay grounded and keep her heart safe. For the last 6 months, she's done just that. But when she moves into her late aunt's apartment and finds a strange man standing in the kitchen, a man with kind eyes, a southern drawl, and a taste for lemon pies, her well-laid plans begin to fall apart. Because he's the type of man who, before it all, she would have fallen head over heels for. And she still might. Except he exists in the past. 7 years in the past to be exact, and she quite literally lives 7 years in his future. Wait, what? Her aunt always said the apartment was a pinch in time, a place where moments blended like watercolors. She also said that love is never a matter of time, but a matter of timing. And Clementine fears she may be 7 years too late. See, okay, I know I'm like reading this like I've never read these before. I swear to y'all, it's because I read them and I bought the books, but I bought them like over a week ago. So I haven't picked them up to like go over the synopsis of what these books are about until now. And this sounds so interesting because it's not just about the people. Like clearly, you know, she says that she's attracted to him. You know, maybe they'll be really compatible, but like how does timing come into play? And I think for a lot of people's love stories, like IRL, timing is such a big thing, like right person, wrong time. So I'm really interested to see how this author explores that idea of right person, wrong time and where the story goes. So I'm gonna give this one like a 4.2 even. I definitely want to see where this one goes. We'll do a bonus book in here. The bonus book I have actually is this book that my mom gave me called Hang in There, Life Can Be Hard Sometimes, but It's Going to Be Okay. And this is actually a series of like short poems, short writings about how life will be okay. And I've kind of been using this as somewhat of a devotional slash somewhat of a book to consult when I'm not having the best of days. So I'll just take it and kind of flip through and stop when I feel aligned. And this one says sometimes it's best to let go and begin again. And it has like a whole, it's like a poem. Like they're like little like poems, little words to kind of remind you that things are going to be okay. So this is one that I will be reading throughout the year, but I wanted to kind of give this one an honorable mention because I have really been enjoying it so far. I know that so many people read this one. I know that it was like really talked about at one point in time, still kind of is, I think. So I'm really curious to read this one. I'm not as familiar and up to date with like the royal family and any of the hierarchy or just politics with the family or anything like that. It was one of the most searing images of the 20th century. Two young boys, two princes, walking behind their mother's coffin as the world watched in sorrow and horror. As Princess Diana was laid to rest, billions wondered what Prince William and Prince Harry must be thinking and feeling and how their lives would play out from this point on. For Harry, this is that story at last. Before losing his mother, 12-year-old Prince Harry was known as the carefree one, the happy-go-lucky spirit to the most serious heir. Grief changed everything. He struggled at school, struggled with anger, with loneliness, and because he blamed the press for his mother's death, he struggled to accept life in the spotlight. At 21, he joined the British Army. The discipline gave him structure and 2 combat tours made him a hero at home. But he soon felt more lost than ever, suffering from post-traumatic stress and prone to crippling panic attacks. Above all, he couldn't find true love. Then he met Meghan. The world was swept away by the couple's cinematic romance and rejoiced in their fairy tale wedding. But from the beginning, Harry and Meghan were preyed upon by the press. Subjected to waves of abuse, racism, and lies, watching his wife suffer, their safety and mental health at risk, Harry saw no other way to prevent the tragedy of history repeating itself but to flee his mother country. Over the centuries, leaving the royal family has been an act that few dared. The last to try, in fact, had been his mother. For the first time, Prince Harry tells his own story, chronicling his journey with raw, unflinching honesty. A landmark publication, Spare, is full of insight, revelation, self-examination, and hard-won wisdom about the eternal power of love over grief. Yeah, I am really interested to read this one. I haven't read a ton of like biographies or autobiographies. One that I read last year that I really enjoyed was Jeanette McCurdy's, so I highly recommend that one if you're considering that one. But this I think will be good. I watch a YouTuber on here, Carissa Burnside, who read this last year as well and commented on how much he enjoyed it. So we'll be diving into that one. Also, I hear the lawnmower people getting closer and I want to finish this video before they get here. So my loves, those are some of the books on my TBR list for 2024. Let me know which ones you're excited to read, which ones you're also going to be adding to your list. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like this one if you enjoyed it, comment below, and subscribe to my channel as well. And we're gonna be talking more book stuff this year, as well as a couple other things that I want to bring to this channel. So looking forward to keeping the conversation going with you, and Happy New Year, my loves. Bye.